La Jolla Cosmetic Surgery Center is the place to go if you're looking to rejuvenate your appearance, tighten and shape your body, and just do something special for yourself. You deserve to look your very best.
La Jolla Cosmetic Surgery Center offers over 90 procedures and treatments for a natural, youthful appearance. They are absolutely the best in the business. Try out their treatment planner at glamfam.com. It's so easy and amazing to use.
We can't say enough great things about their board-certified plastic surgeons, and guess what? They offer flexible payment plans so you can start your journey to a better you right now.
Free consultations, too. The very best in the business is in our own backyard. How lucky are we?
Make sure you tell them that Laura Cain After Dark sent you. We love everything about La Jolla Cosmetic Surgery Center. Go to glamfam.com. Hello and welcome to Laura Cain After Dark. I'm Laura Cain. The person who is rummaging through his phone, he's death scrolling right now, is Erik Rimmer, my co-host. And
I'm
we
so
have
excited about tonight.
I know. Oh my gosh, just wait. And then we have our producer Brian. Hi, Brian.
Howdy.
Who apparently worked all weekend. And I said, so did I. So there's that. But
So did I.
I know.
We all did.
And you know what? I worked 8 hours today too. Just like you.
Oh, wow.
Just like you.
Just today?
No, over the weekend I worked some hours.
Oh.
Not 8 each day, but why did you work 8 on Saturday and 8 on Sunday?
I did on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I don't really feel that sorry for you.
Oh, I went to a funeral on Friday.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Gosh, sorry.
For a family member.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
Wait.
No, it's
okay, we'll talk about this
Way
after.
to bring
No, we
down
don't
the
have to.
room.
No
Kate.
kidding.
No, I
Okay.
just wanted to bring her down. I just wanted to bring her ego down a little bit.
As always. Okay, first we got to say Happy Veterans Day to all the
Yes.
veterans. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
for
your
your service.
Yes, absolutely. Today I was asked to fill in for the person that does the videography for the TV stations in the helicopter. So I got to go up in the helicopter and I videoed the Veterans Day Parade, which was along Harbor Drive, right near the Star of India, right next to the Midway. I zoomed in on the Midway because there was like a bunch of activities going on there because it's the end of Fleet Week. And then I zoomed in on a boat that had like an American flag waving. And then like there was a big inflatable bald eagle. I zoomed in on that real slow and then I zoomed out when I could finally get the signals to the stations.
Can you take guests on that?
On the helicopter
Yeah.
ride?
Oh, God. I want to
would
go.
Kill, yeah.
I don't know. I should ask.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another seat. There's 2 seats in the back.
I want to go on that.
Can I tell you something? I'm so focused on, there's so many buttons and moving parts and juggling so much. I didn't look out the window one single time. I just looked through the screen, the camera, because you have to like, you maneuver it, you go in and out, you have to balance the white, you have to do all this, and then you have to transmit to the station.
Well, I'll
and
tell you what.
da-da-da-da.
Since there's 2 extra seats.
There's one extra seat.
Oh,
We can share.
we can share.
Yeah.
You sit on each other's lap.
Yeah, Brian can sit on my lap.
Yeah.
If it'll take off. I don't know if there's like a weight
Are you
limit.
saying that we're heavy?
No. I'm just saying 2
It's
men
not a paper airplane. It's a helicopter. It'll be fine.
sitting on top of each other might be a little bit heavy.
I think it'll be okay.
I think we'll be all right.
All right,
Seatbelt
okay.
will fit around us.
Okay. Now, we are not a political show. We take your mind off of politics. So what I want to do right now is
Can I start crying?
let's play the music. Cue music, please. We're all going to take a deep breath. Ready?
Why?
Just take a deep breath.
Why?
Because we're going to calm down for a second.
I'm already calm.
I just have something to say. Okay, just take a deep breath. Ready? Now, in my program, we say one day at a time, right? Because really, truly, in everybody's life, we only have today. So let's not be doom and gloom and try not to be too sad or all bummed out or whatever you are. Let's just all get along.
That sounds great.
And let's just all have a positive attitude. And let's just all breathe and live day to day.
Are you telling me that I should burn my kill list?
No, I'm
Erik,
not.
why are you upset? Your candidate won.
I'm not saying. Oh,
Kidding.
That's okay. He's like the only one that is like mouths off politically on the show.
But Yeah.
Sort of.
Why does Brian always do that to me?
I know, because he does it to both of us.
Because it's obviously not true.
So anyway, okay. So coming up right now. Oh no, we have your double D. We're going to do your double D. And then we have a special guest. Her name is Georganne Irvine. I've known Georganne for years. She has literally been affiliated with some way or another with the San Diego Zoo and San Diego Safari Park for over 40 years. She is somebody that we used to have on the show all the time on Jeff and Jer. She's an author. She's the philanthropist. She is an awesome person.
She's so nice.
And you've probably heard her name because she used to be the publicist and she's been on TV at countless times. So she's going to be on the show and she's going to share some of the books that she's written. She's written over 30 books.
Cannot wait.
I know. And I'm so excited to talk to her because I haven't seen her in a while and it's really exciting. And that's why I wore my animal print for you because I know you love it. and for her, of course.
And I see you drag that chair back.
Of course. Why? I mean, hello, she has to sit in the leopard print chair.
I know.
And you know what's funny? She's wearing leopard print.
I know. I love it.
Okay, so let's get your double Ds. Let's get through them.
All right.
I don't want to say get it over with. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I want to get it over with because I want to get Georganne up here.
I know. But I want to hear what's going on in Hollywood, baby.
Well, there is some big news. Not a whole lot happened this week. But, and last week Terry Garr died. Remember Terry Garr from Young Frankenstein and Mr. Mom and all that?
Wait, wasn't she in Close Encounters?
I don't remember.
Was she the mom in Close Encounters?
I have no clue.
She might have been.
Yeah.
That's I don't even know if I was born yet, Laura.
Be quiet. You're older than me. Be quiet.
Shoot.
By like 1 year.
Megan Fox is pregnant with Machine Gun Kelly's kid.
That kid's going to be a vampire.
I know. That kid is going to be
like 9 feet tall.
A spider.
Yeah.
Like a daddy long legs.
Yeah, probably.
And probably have its first tattoo by the age of one.
Yeah, he'll be born with it.
He'll be born like a tattoo. How old is Megan? Does it say?
I think she's 38.
Yeah.
She seems like she's lived a lot longer than that. She doesn't seem like she looks old. I just feels like she's been around longer than that. I don't know. That's all. She's still incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
She started when she was really young, though.
I didn't even know they were still together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to them.
Britney Spears is reconciling with her son, Jaden.
Yay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And is Jaden the older one or the younger one?
I think he's the older one.
Okay.
And I think that'll be good for her. Maybe it'll mellow her out a little bit.
Always getting in touch with your kids centers you. That is one thing for sure.
Yes.
I talked to both my kids this weekend and it was like the best. And you know what? Charlie, when I talked to him on FaceTime, was wearing this thick sweater and this big old beanie and it was all overcast and he was freezing cold in Portland. Mm-hmm. And then Evan, she was like, Mom, I'm so cold. I just got off the subway. And she had a scarf on and a jacket and a hat on. And I was like, I was laying in my hammock. It's like bright sunshine in the 70s. I'm like, sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to move away.
It dropped to the low 40s last night.
I know. It was cold last night, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt. Continue.
I fell asleep last night. It said it was only 26 minutes long. It was called Chucky. It's on Shudder. And
is it a movie or a
documentary on, I thought it was just on the one Child's Play movie. I think the documentary is about 6 hours long.
Oh, no, thank you. About Chucky, the whole Chucky phenomenon.
Great. But I fell asleep during the last 2 hours of it. And I woke up freezing my ass off.
When you're done, I need to tell you about a movie I watched last night that everybody needs to see.
Okay, and I watched a movie too.
Okay, and we'll get that, and then we'll have Georganne on.
So the drug dealer that supposedly supplied Liam Payne with drugs is speaking out for the first time. He said he did nothing wrong in connection with the singer's tragic death last month. His name is Brian Pais.
And he got arrested, right?
He did. He's been accused of Argentinian authorities of allegedly supplying drugs to the star.
Do you know how they were doing it?
Soap boxes.
Isn't that because one of the other people who was arrested was a hotel worker.
Yeah.
And that's how they'd give him the drugs
Yeah.
through like a Dove box, a box of soap.
Yeah. He said he told the outlet the first time he met Liam at the restaurant where he worked as a waiter on October 2nd. He claimed Liam didn't eat anything because he was already under the influence of drugs, and says Liam later invited him to his Buenos Aires hotel room where they took a few whiskey shots together. And then they had their second meeting on Sunday, October 13th, where they both used drugs throughout the night. He stressed that Liam wasn't aggressive and was actually well behaved.
Didn't the Argentinian police say it's suicide?
Oh, I don't know.
I read that, and then I also read that one of his friends was arrested, somebody who just abandoned him when they arrested him because they didn't think that he should have left his side. That was like a reason from why they arrested this one friend.
Oh, yeah.
But so that means never leave my side,
I won't.
or they're going to come get you.
I will never leave.
But
your
I'm
side.
not going to, I hope, God willing, will not end up like that. Okay.
No, you won't.
Okay. Okay. So the movie I watched.
Yes.
I'm not usually into, like, I thought this was going to be like a lighthearted comedy because, Aubrey
Plaza.
was in it, and she is funny and a comedian. And I thought, well, but this looks kind of interesting. It was her talking to her younger self, and it's called My Old Ass.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Is it good?
It is so good, tender, funny, sweet, shocking, and it's not very long. It was beautiful, wrapped in like a perfect bow. I loved that movie.
It's on Prime, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
My
okay.
Old Ass, it's called. It's great. It's
watch
great. What did you watch?
I watched Elevation. It's in theaters.
Oh, you actually went to the movies?
I actually went to the movies, and it was packed
Oh, that's good to know.
on Saturday night. It's interesting. It kind of falls apart at the end.
Who is in that one?
I think I don't know any of the
Hugh Grant is in the other one that opened, right?
Heretic.
Now, what is that? A scary one?
It's more of a psychological thriller. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We were going to see Smile 2, but it started too late.
Why didn't you see Heretic?
It wasn't at the time that we were there.
Oh, okay. Okay. But so Elevation was like, eh.
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Q.
Real quick,
Well-
Tony Todd died this week too.
Oh,
This last
Tony
week.
Todd from Candyman. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I knew I was forgetting something. Yes.
I
thank
don't
you.
know that person. I don't know
He's an
Candyman.
Anyways,
Oh, boy.
Candyman, it's a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
he's been in a lot of other things.
Like,
A lot.
I don't remember.
but I would recognize his face.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, and probably his voice actually.
Does he always play a scary character? Or is
plays
he
kind
like
of-
a victim?
Dark characters,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
necessarily bad guys. I think.
Okay, here. Get a little bit more into the show. There we go. So we can get us all on Instagram
yes.
as cue the zoo music, please. Or the jungle music, I should say. Oh, let me get my dog off the seat. And we got to move the camera so we can get... Oh, there you go, Elvis. Oh, my gosh. He is heavier than he looks. Because Georganne Irvine is coming on up. Come on up,
Yeah.
Georganne Irvine.
Hi.
This is a friend of mine from so long ago.
So long. It's been
Are you? I know. Here's your mic.
Oh, thank you. And I'm so honored that Elvis was sitting in my seat.
He was
that
keeping
was
it warm
awesome.
for you.
Okay, it
I
was.
took photos of it.
You did? Oh
Yes,
gosh,
I did.
The thing is with Elvis, sometimes he can be a real jerk when you try to move him. So I was like, I don't want you to have to move him, and then him go. Rah.
Oh, he would have loved me.
I know you speak to animals. You are all about animals. You are all about conservation. You are an author. You're a philanthropist. You are a leader of women. You are so many things, Georganne Irvine, and I just cannot wait to delve into everything that you are currently doing. And also, let's brush up on your past too.
Oh my gosh, thank you for saying all of those nice things. Wow, who is that?
Well, if you've heard the name Georganne Irvine, it's probably because she used to be the publicist for the zoo. She's spoken out on, you've been on many a local TV news show with animals, without animals, speaking about conservation. And now your passion, it seems, is writing books. And you've been doing this for years. You have over 30 books you've written.
Wow.
I have. They're children's books. I have
Perfect
written
for me.
one book for the adult audience, but I really prefer writing for kids. They don't take as long.
Now-
Well, they kind of do in a way.
I tried writing a children's book one time, and I wrote like one sentence, and I'm like, I don't, because they seem so easy to write because there's very few words. But no, they're not. They're very
not.
difficult. So, okay, first tell me about the book for adults. What's the one book you wrote for adults?
The one book I wrote for adults was about the Katrina dolphins that were washed out to sea during Hurricane Katrina and their rescue. And it's a book that's filled with hope, but I had to do a lot of research, interview a lot of people, nonfiction. And that's what I specialize in, is nonfiction. So that was a big coffee table book. The book was so big, you could use it as the table. It was gigantic size.
I'm all about that.
He loves coffee table
My
books.
eyes are doing pinwheels
He
right
is
now.
freaking out right now. Oh my gosh. What a beautiful thing that
Can you
focused on.
still buy it?
You can probably buy it on used book sites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called the Katrina Dolphins One Way Ticket to Paradise.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm just
so it's
gonna,
hopeful. I
I'm just
love
gonna-
that.
It is a hopeful book, but it wasn't published by the San Diego Zoo.
Right.
But now I'm writing books for the San Diego Zoo,
Okay.
my employer.
I love that. But we're talking Simon and Schuster. We're talking Scholastic. She's been published by many big name, and now the zoo. So talk about what your children's books primarily are about. I mean, you have over 30 of them. What do they each focus on?
Well, they all have animal themes, but the books I'm doing now for San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance Press, and let me just say, I've been with the organization for 46 years, going on 47. I know you said over 40, and that made me sound really young.
Well, you look exactly the same as you did when I was with Jeff and Jared, like way back in the day, in like 2004. Have you not changed one bit?
Is
But
that
anyway.
it?
That's it.
Oh, I'm buying it right now. So excuse me
That's
one
it.
second.
Oh my gosh, he found it. That came out in 2007. That's an old one.
Oh,
Nice.
good. Okay.
Okay, so continue the books you're writing for the zoo.
So this is the Hope and Inspiration collection of books. And so they're nonfiction stories about real animals that live or have lived at the San Diego Zoo or Safari Park. And what's interesting, if a child can get to know an individual animal, like Karen the orangutan or Omeo the koala, it really enables them to connect with that animal because each animal has its own personality. And then the hope is that they will connect with the species and with wildlife and be inspired to care about wildlife and get interested in conservation. And in some of these books, like in the case of Omeo the koala, which is the newest book that came out, his mother passed away when he was still in her pouch. And so koalas need to stay, they're marsupials, so a koala needs to stay in its mother's pouch for 6 months. And then you see an arm, an ear. Well, when he was only 5 months old, she died. And we really didn't think he was going to make it because he was also very small for his age. He wasn't even the size of a baby koala that was 5 months old. So it's his story, but he had this will to live. And he had ups and downs in his life. I mean, right after he was taken out of the pouch, out of his mother's pouch, and we put him in a special pouch in an incubator, and our wildlife care team and our veterinary team did everything they could to save his life. He got pneumonia, and we thought, this is it. But Dr. Cora Singleton, bless her, with her nebulizer, he breathed in the medicine and he made it. But throughout his life, he had a lot of ups and downs. I followed him for 2 years before Dr. Cora said to me, George, he's out of the woods. You can finally write the book about him.
Can we see the
Yes,
Omeo?
yes.
And
this
is he
the
currently
Omeo.
at the zoo?
Yes, he is currently at the zoo.
Oh,
He's
look
5
at this
years
baby.
old.
Look at his ears.
cute.
Oh, he's so cute.
But the kids who have connected to these books, let me say, like in the Karen orangutan, I know. Well, let's look at Omeo.
Omeo, I love.
These
They're
are his
beautifully
footprints.
done books.
These are his little footprints.
We have the foot or paw prints
Oh
of
my
every
God,
animal that we
is
write
so
about.
That is
cute.
these are
We don't
amazing.
waste any space in the
Oh,
books.
look at Omeo when he was just a little tiny baby struggling to live.
See, he
This
didn't
is
have a lot of hair.
great. Look at the pouch you made him. Oh my gosh. So, wow. Each book is the story about
An individual animal
that is at the zoo right now.
or has been at the zoo. Yes.
And that kids can really relate
Yes.
to. And
Yes.
like you said, become more fond of the species and learn more about animals in
Absolutely.
general.
But what I've also found is these books teach life lessons. And this is something I never expected. And let me give you an example. There's a story about a flamingo, Floyd, who had some issues with his legs and he had surgery. And it's about the true story of a flamingo who never gave up. And about a year and a half ago, I got a packet of letters from Bourne, England, middle school in Bourne, Eastbourne, England. And somehow they had found the Floyd Flamingo book. And they used it for a week-long class teaching kids about resilience and never giving up.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
And in that packet, so I got the letter from the teachers. I had 55 handwritten letters from the children. I mean, handwritten, telling me how much they had learned and how this story taught them to never give up in life and to be resilient. I just couldn't believe it. I don't even know how they found the book. And then I got a letter, an email from a school in the eastern U.S. that had done something similar. And our book about Karen orangutan, this is Karen.
I love her name is Karen. It's
So
so cute.
Yes,
cute.
she is your namesake. She still lives at the zoo. She just celebrated her 32nd birthday on June 11th.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
But when she was a baby, she had a hole in her heart. And so when she was 2 years old, and I was in PR at the time, and I so vividly remember watching her surgery from, the viewing room in our zoo hospital. And one of the top heart-lung surgery teams in the nation volunteered their time to repair her heart. They
Like
came
a,
from-
like a human,
yes,
doctor.
human doctors
Oh my goodness.
and they brought equipment, and all the nurses, everybody donated their time to helping Karen. It was really amazing. I could have probably had a heart-lung transplant in our zoo hospital because of all the equipment that they
Oh
brought.
my God.
But so they repaired her heart, and Dr. Jameson said if her parents were human, I would tell them that everything went just fine. But that evening, she got an infection in her lungs and she was on a ventilator for 2 weeks. And we got get well letters. This is before the days of internet and social media. The word got out all over the world about Karen's heart surgery, and she got get well letters from all over the world. And I want to tell you about one of the letters, but I'd like to also say that to this day, I get emails from parents telling me, my daughter has a hole in her heart and she's got to get it fixed. And she read Karen's book, and that has given her the courage to go ahead with the surgery. Or they've said, one of my colleagues has a daughter who had open heart surgery, who had a hole fixed. And she sent me a note and said, I've never been able to explain to my daughter what happened to her. And this book tells this book has helped me explain that to her. So there are life lessons. We have a book about a baby monkey who was raised by his grandmother. How many families have grandparents that play an important role in the lives of their grandchildren?
Now, was this your reasoning for writing the books, or just write books about animals and then it's just a happy accident that they all became life lessons and then helping people deal with their own issues?
Well, I would work with our wildlife care team to find out what animals might have some challenges in their lives. A lot of these have had, some of them have not, but a lot of them have. And in the case of Karen, it was a story from 1994. So that story, we had the images and all. But the key to these books is photography. if you don't follow an animal through whatever it's going through and have photos of it all, you don't have a book. So when I decided I wanted to create this nonfiction hope and inspiration collection, I started with the Karen book, but then by working with our veterinary team and our wildlife care team, I came upon other animal stories that were potentials for books. So they don't all turn into a book. There are some animals I followed that have not yet turned into a book, sure. But I consciously followed them. I worked with the wildlife care team, and I feel really honored because I feel like the orchestra conductor. I research the books, I write them, I gather the photos. We have a fabulous photographer, but I shoot some myself. But I feel I'm getting to tell the stories of our people who donate their lives to caring for and protecting wildlife, as well as the stories of our wildlife who are amazing conservation ambassadors. Sure. So it's something that really, I started with Karen, and immediately I came up with a couple other book ideas, and it has just grown over the years. And it's just so near and dear to my heart being able to do these stories, because I have seen how the books connect not just children, but adults to wildlife by learning about these individual animals and then taking it out from there. And our organization, San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, is dedicated to conservation. And we like to look at the zoo and safari park as our two front doors where we can inspire people to care. But our vision is creating a world where all life thrives. So that means wildlife, that means habitats, that means people where we can cohabitate together. So I love being able to write these stories that inspire people to care and that really help educate people about the work that San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance is doing.
Now, do these particular books come in a set, or do you can buy them individually? Like how does one purchase these books?
You can purchase them individually.
Okay.
If you go, you can purchase them on Amazon, but if you go to shopzoo.com.
There's a link on our website, Laura Cain After Dark,
which is our San Diego Zoo shopping site, which has amazing. Oh my gosh, if you go on Shop Zoo, you'll want to buy everything. But if you go, you will find the books. But what's really great is if you put a note into your order that says, I want Georganne to personalize these books, and then say who you want them to. My office is right by Shop Zoo, and they will bring them to my office, and you will get personalized copies of the books, which makes them all the more special. And I like to write messages. I don't just sign my name. I write inspirational messages to the kids.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And they're beautifully done. I mean, I'm all about learning, and I love the fun facts about koalas. Do all the books have that?
Yes, they all have the animals' handprints or footprints.
Oh,
and
wow.
Interestingly, with Karen, she's an adult now, and her hands are like this big. I was exaggerating. But we happened to find a handprint from Karen when she was a baby. And this was the first book that we did. So there is Karen's baby.
Oh,
that's a baby hand. It almost looks like it's a human hand.
It does. She was, I don't know exactly how old she was. I believe that was when she was 2 years old.
Karen. And then she's a baby here, right?
Yes, and we do show photos of Karen in the book when she is an adult.
And this is Karen now, right?
And she loves to hold court at the window of our orangutan
Oh, so she loves attention.
She loves attention, and she loves to turn somersaults. I've even seen her jump up and do a pirouette and then lay down and roll. She's really quite the character. So you can see her, and I can recognize the orangutans by their faces. I mean, they, just like people look different, they look different. But if you don't know what to recognize, sometimes it's tough. But Karen has very light-colored eyes. So the other orangutans have darker eyes, but her eyes are very light. And then we have our fabulous volunteers in the red shirts who are there, who can point out Karen and Aisha and Inda and all of the other animals that live with her.
Okay, when we are young kids, we have a proclivity for something that we turn out doing in our adult life. Is there something in your childhood that like led you to be this animal ambassador of sorts? I mean, of all sorts.
I grew up in San Diego until I was in 3rd grade.
Are you a native?
I am.
Oh,
Born
yeah.
at Mercy Hospital. Just
Oh,
a few
yeah.
miles
There
from
we
here.
go.
What's up?
Hey,
He's an
there
native
we
too.
go.
And I'm an Aztec. Yay.
Yes, and I'm an
San
Aztec too. And I grew up on a canyon, and there was wildlife there. My parents moved to Orange County when I was in 3rd grade, and I guess I had to go with them, but that was just my 10-year leave of absence. But I grew up going to the San Diego Zoo, and I loved it. And I was also a curious child. I did not want to miss out on anything. And when I give talks, there's a slide that I show that's really pretty hilarious. It's a photo of me in our children's zoo. Now our Wildlife Explorers Base Camp sits on the site. But it's a photo of me in the children's zoo eating popcorn, looking in a trash can to see if there is anything interesting in this trash can. Because I'm a storyteller. I've always been a storyteller. And I thought, oh my gosh, and I used to look in the storm drains too, just because I thought there might be something worth a story in there. So I've always had this love for animals. And then on my 21st birthday, one of my sorority sisters,
What sorority were you in?
Chi Omega.
Oh,
Were
okay.
you in one?
Alpha Phi.
Oh my God, that was my second preference night house.
Girl.
Yes, I almost was an Alpha Phi. They were my friends. I love the Alpha Phis.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
So much fun.
Okay.
Anyway, my sorority sister gave me a Curious George monkey for my 21st birthday.
Stuffed animal?
Yes, and I still have it.
Oh
It
my
looks
God.
over my desk. And I think that was indicative of what was to come in my life. So there were all of these indicators growing up, and just my love of animals and my love of storytelling and investigating things. So I think that really led me to my career at the San Diego Zoo.
Did you just go to the zoo and apply? Did you or was it a whole, how did that happen?
So my major was public relations. It was actually
Journalism,
journalism with
yeah.
an emphasis in public relations. And I had an internship at what was then the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And when I was there, it was my, summer of my senior year, a position as public relations assistant came up at the zoo. And it required a year's experience, which of course I didn't have. But in my resume, I put everything I'd ever written, including being editor of the sorority newsletter. You have to use everything when you're that young. And I applied and I made it to the top 2, and I didn't get the job. I didn't get it. And I never thought I would make it that far, but to get that, I was 21, to get that far and not make it, I was devastated. I remember calling my mother and I was in tears because it was my dream job. 6 months later, the job opened up again, and they called me. And what I later found out is they did not interview anybody else. They called me, brought me in for another interview. I had to take a writing test. I'll never forget. They gave me a spelling test. And I don't know how I was so brave to do this, but I left the room and went to the person who was going to be interviewing me. I said, excuse me, I know you've given me a spelling test, but I would use a dictionary. I can guess how these are, but I would use a dictionary. And a big smile. She says, that's all we wanted to know.
Whoa, testing.
I know, testing.
Wow.
So the second time around, I got the job as public relations assistant, a dream job. And I've been there ever since. And I've had 3 different careers at the zoo: public relations and marketing. So I was a media spokesperson. And then I worked in our philanthropy division, overseeing a communications design team. So we created all of the materials that we needed to raise, $100 million a year for new habitats and conservation. And then in 2017, our then CEO decided we needed to start a book publishing division, because it's interesting. There was a time, and I had friends tell me this, when people thought the printed book was dead. And at this point, there was a resurgence And especially with parents with kids, they don't want their kids on devices. No. So
I still never read a book on it. I always have a book.
I'm on my computer, so I want a printed book.
Yeah.
So do
there
I.
was a resurgence. And now, if you read Publishers Weekly, people are buying printed books again, particularly children's books. So we publish other books. We publish historical books about key figures for the adult audience. We publish illustrated books for children about animals, and a local author writes those. And then, of course, I do the Hope and Inspiration books. But it's really fun. My daughter had a baby. I have a 2.5-year-old granddaughter.
Oh,
she's
congratulations.
so cute.
What's her name? Give her a shout out.
Madison.
Cute.
Baby.
Mad Maddie. She's hilarious. And they live in Colorado Springs. And I am now a member of the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, a grandparent member, because when I go, she lasts about 2 hours. But when we visit, we can visit every day with a membership. Just like it's so important that people who are here have memberships to our zoo.
Yeah.
But anyway, when when there was a baby shower for her, she wanted everybody to bring their favorite book that they had as a child.
That is a great
for
idea.
Maddie to start her library.
Really cute.
It's so awesome.
That is a shower
young
idea,
parents are
everybody.
doing
That
this.
is a very cute idea.
Incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, you said you were, I know you were the media person for the zoo for a very, very long time. So that means you've probably had to give special tours to celebrities, or you've had to be on talk shows. So can you give us what was your favorite memory, or the most famous person you've ever talked to? And do you have any of those stories?
Oh, yes, I do. The first one, Steven Spielberg visited the zoo. And I still work with our social media team to take celebrities around, so I still get to do that. But he really wanted to know about the zoo. And so I really told him all about what we were doing, our conservation work. And I only asked him one movie-related question. And that question was, we were at the Galapagos tortoises.
And it was just you, him, and his family?
Yes.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, did you model E.T. after a Galapagos tortoise? Because think about
Very
E.T.
appropriate.
looks like
He does.
his head. And he actually said, no, I didn't, but they do look alike. I see why you asked me that. And I just thought that was kind of awesome to ask. And then I got a handwritten thank you note when they were finished.
Is that framed on your wall? Oh my gosh. From Steven Spielberg?
No, it's in a folder. But
my
so other celebrities, I am a musical theater.
I was going to ask you about that. Somebody
I can
that
talk
I know
all
that
about that.
I know that knows you said, don't get her started on musicals. She will go on and on and on and on and on. But anyway, continue.
But one of my absolute favorite musical artists, Julie Andrews, came to the zoo.
Oh, I love Julie.
And
Wow.
it was awesome. And she brought Blake Edwards, her husband, and she brought her 2 daughters who were, in their teens at the time. And it was so cute because every time something would excite her, she would go, I don't speak like this, but she would go, damn, that's a good story. We should do a TV show about this. And she would use that word a lot. It was hilarious.
The damn word?
Yes, it was, but it was cute. It was in a positive way, but it kind of surprised me a little bit. But we went over to the Sumatran rhino that had just arrived. It's critically endangered species. And we were looking at this rhino. And I talked about how it was a new rhino at the zoo and how it liked to wallow in the mud. And in the zoo, in her Mary Poppins voice, she said, why, I know a song about a rhino. As a matter of fact, it's about a rhino who likes to wallow in the mud. As a matter of fact, it goes like this. And she sang me a song in the zoo, out of The Sound of
way.
Music.
Okay, your mind just was a smoke coming out of your ears? Did your the top of your
Yes.
head blow off? My God.
I felt like I was one of the kids in The Sound of Music. She didn't belt it, but she literally sang me a song.
Oh my gosh.
I will never forget
my
that.
God,
Ever,
that
ever,
is
ever, ever.
something.
What's your favorite musical?
It depends if you want a new one or an old
Okay,
one.
let's do old first.
Okay, old ones. I do love Mary Poppins. I love
Sound of
Gypsy. I love The Sound of Music.
Are you going to see Wicked?
The movie.
Yes.
I mean, you've
Okay.
seen Wicked.
Well, I have seen the Wicked show because I always make this excuse. I've had a lot of friends in the cast, and it's been out for a long time. I have seen it well over 24 times, probably 30 times. Over the years, my first Elphaba was Stephanie J. Block in Los Angeles. And you'll laugh at this. I was so excited to finally be seeing Wicked. And I didn't have good seats. I like to sit in the front row of the theater. So I had binoculars. And I'm watching the whole show through binoculars. And when they're singing Defying Gravity, and I'm starting to feel a little sick to my stomach and thinking, oh my gosh, you're getting the flu in the middle of Wicked. Well, at intermission, I felt fine. I finally realized I was getting motion sickness from looking at the show through my binoculars. But I got better and I didn't use binoculars the second half of the show. But I love Six, the musical.
Oh, yeah.
I love that show.
Is that old or new? I don't even.
That's new.
Okay.
It's about
Six?
the 6 wives of Henry VIII that was in town.
Oh, yes.
They
Oh,
visited
yes.
the zoo. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I also love Anne Juliet, which has not yet toured, but it's a show with music by Max Martin, like Roar and Since You've Been Gone.
Yeah.
You would know all of the music. And it's a story about what if Juliet didn't die. So it's a Shakespearean, but it's just so awesome. When it comes to town, and I don't know when it's coming, you've got to go see it. Okay. It's just magical.
Did you love Moulin Rouge?
Oh my, yes. I love Moulin Rouge. So I've seen it on Broadway a couple times. And the last time I saw it on Broadway, across the aisle, there was a woman holding a little wiener dog, a little long-haired dachshund. And before the show, the cast comes out and they kind of dance. And I could see them looking at the dog and they were just cracking up. You could see they were trying not to break a smile because they were in character. So at intermission, I went up to the lady and I said, oh my gosh, may I take a photo of you and your dog? Because I didn't want to say, oh, can I touch it? She goes, oh no, you can hold him here. So I held this little dog and got my photo with him. And I said, does he go to Broadway shows often? And she said, no, this is only his second show. But he also did go to the Michael Jackson show as well.
Oh my
but the
God,
dog
that is
watched the
so
show.
funny.
It was hilarious. So yes, I love Moulin
Oh my
Rouge.
gosh, my daughter is in theater at Fordham in New York City, and she is like same theater freak, and she just loves everything, and she really loved Moulin Rouge a whole heck of a lot, and of course Hamilton, all-time
love
favorite.
that.
I mean, like knows every single word to every single song, like most kids did at that time when it came out. But I just love that you are so multifaceted, and what is your goal? Like, what is the next 5 years look like for Georganne Irvine?
I'm not retiring just yet because I love what I'm doing. I love the people I work
you can't
with.
do that yet.
It's just magical for me. But the next 5 years will be continuing to write the Hope and Inspiration books. I also love to travel to see animals in their native habitat.
Where's the craziest location you've ever had to spend the night in?
It was probably in Borneo when we were with Dr. Barute Galdikas, who's the Jane Goodall of orangutans. And we were going out into the forest to confront illegal loggers. And we ended up having to spend the night in the forest. We had security with us and all, but I wasn't expecting to spend the night in the forest. And so that was really interesting, but they had brought some supplies. So that was pretty crazy. And then the next morning we confronted the illegal loggers, and that was quite a story unto itself. So that was awesome. But I've spent a lot of time in Africa. I love India.
We want to go on a safari.
We want to go on a safari.
Safaris are magical.
Yes, like a real one. Like I want to be in a tent on the ground. I don't want to be in a fancy thing.
Let's not go that far.
No. There are very nice. There are very
do it
nice
the real way.
tented safaris, and the zoo actually offers tours to
Really?
Africa and other places in the world.
Oh yes, they do. Mhm.
And
Yeah,
how would
and-
you through their website?
Yeah, they can look on our website, and we offer awesome tours, and they're all wildlife related, which is really
a great
fabulous.
idea to do it through the zoo.
I highly recommend going on our San Diego Zoo tours. And so I have led some of our tours, and I've also traveled a lot of places on my own. My very first trip to Africa was in 1989, and a friend had put it together. And probably, if you wanted me to tell you the craziest thing that has ever happened on a trip, was a 4-day canoe trip on the Zambezi River in Africa, where we were canoeing our own. We were, canoeing on our own. We did have a guide, and we did have folks setting up our tents on the shore.
What was in the water?
But everything that could happen did happen. These don't happen on zoo tours. This was not a zoo tour.
Okay.
Well, here's an example. So there were some poachers from Zambia, which was across the river. And they weren't poaching, but they were young men, and they were speeding in a boat with their girlfriends, kind of speeding around the river. And there are a lot of sandbanks and little islands. And our guide gets his gun out. And I'm further back. I'm not up with him. And he points it at them, and he says, "Get out of here, poachers. Get out, get out." It's like, what are you doing? You have 8 of us, and you're holding your gun up at people who are poachers.
Oh, gosh.
So they sped off, but then we could hear them coming back, and it's like, oh my gosh. So we had to go hide in the reeds where the crocodiles were.
Oh,
while the boat is spinning around, like looking for us.
Oh my, this is a movie.
It is a movie. That was really scary. Then we were following some elephants along the shore.
Oh, that's my dream.
We were not getting too close, and I was with the guide, and I was in the front of the canoe shooting photographs. And we're sitting there, and we're pretty, we're far enough away, and I'm shooting photographs, and all of a sudden, one of them starts to charge. And literally, I thought, oh my God, you're finally going to die. You've finally done it. And then I thought, if I'm going to die, I may as well take pictures. These are going to be really, really good pictures. And then, this isn't the day of film, I actually thought, I hope it doesn't ruin my film when I go in the river, and I hope my friends can retrieve my camera. And it stopped about 6 feet short of us and splashed, and our guide's eyes were big, and he said, it's okay, it's a mock charge. I don't think he'll come any closer. And my friends were terrified, and one of them actually, to this day, says she was just thinking, what am I going to tell her mother?
There's like nothing you can do to scare off an elephant.
No.
You just...
And I'm guessing maybe he got us, I was young and naive, maybe he got us too close. But then what was even scarier is right after that, there was a pod of about 50 hippos. Hippos are really the most dangerous animal in Africa.
I've heard that.
Uh-huh.
And half of our group, so we had 4 canoes, were on the other side of the river. So Tim says, okay, we're going to canoe right through that pod of hippos, and they're going to go down, and we're going to glide right over them. That was even scarier than the elephant charge because you could see the water swirling. And I was just praying, oh God, please don't let them come up. Please don't let them come up, because, they could turn the canoe over, and then there are crocodiles everywhere. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy too. And then other things happened. And then really our last day, he had to go meet another tour group, and he left us in the forest by ourselves. We were so scared. We were waiting for a plane to come and pick us up on a dirt runway. And we were so scared that we were singing Christmas carols really loud to keep animals away.
Oh my God.
So those 4 days were, if I had to pick, and then we were at a camp where there actually was a restroom. And I went in, and I said to my friends, if anything happens, come on in. And I'm in there, and all of a sudden they open the door, and they're going, holding it shut really tight. And I said, well, welcome. What happened? And they said, well, we were out waiting for you to come out, and hyenas came after us.
Oh, those are scary too, huh?
So just things like that. And then one of our canoes accidentally ran into a crocodile our last day, which didn't turn around and get them, but it just went, it kind of went off into the reeds.
Have you ever been bit by anything?
Oh, a dog.
Nothing,
Not
but nothing
an
like
animal,
not a
no.
scary spider from
No,
the Amazon or anything.
No, I'm just trying to think. No, I haven't.
I got
have
bit
not.
by a macaw.
Oh, that
So-
hurts.
Yes. So I wanted to be a vet when I was young, and I went to school and everything for it. And I did some residency at SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
So I had a choice to either work with the penguins or work with the birds of prey and the exotic birds. And I was like, no, the penguins. But then when I saw how excited they get, I was like, no. So at one point I had 2 parrots living with me, 2 macaws. I had anyway. They
blue and gold?
I had a
A
blue and
scarlet?
gold, and I had a
Green?
I can't
Military?
remember what the other one was. And when I first met it and they pinch and twist,
It
and
hurts.
blood was spurting out, and you have to
Oh.
not react, right?
Right.
Because then they think it's a game, and I just remember thinking, oh my God. And it just stared at me. So I covered it up, waited 2 days, came back, lifted the cover over, and I said, we're going to do this again.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she never bit me again. She was with me for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that
Baby.
story. But they can crack nuts
Oh, yeah.
open with their beak.
Those
Yeah.
beaks are no
so
joke.
yeah, you do
Yeah.
not want to get bit by a parrot.
No.
But no, I really haven't. I mean,
Blue and gold is the other one.
blue and gold. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. No spiders. I mean, our wildlife care team is very.
I was saying like out in the
careful. So
Amazon.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when I've been out?
Yes.
No, the only.
That's what I'm afraid of. Getting
I
bit by
am-
something crazy.
Well, I've made peace with spiders.
Oh,
But the one living being that terrifies me, and I would choose being in a room with a cobra over this animal. And you're going to go, really? I would take a cobra over a cockroach any day.
me too.
I hate cockroaches.
Not a Madagascar hissing cockroach.
Oh.
They're big and they're like little animals, even though they're insects. But a cockroach, I am terrified.
I hate
am
cockroaches.
Terrified of them.
Cockroaches and spiders.
Yeah, he can't
I
do spiders.
Can't.
I have made peace with spiders.
Oh, I can't.
I
Oh.
really did, but I can't, but I am terrified. That's it. They can't really bite you, I don't think.
No.
But if one even touched me,
Oh.
it would be like it bit me. I would be like off to the hospital.
Okay, when we talk, these books are available online at the San Diego Zoo shop, which the website is. We also have it on our website.
Shopzoo.com, and you can buy them in our gift shops at the
Okay.
San Diego Zoo and San Diego Safari Park.
I want to show you what my daughter bought me at the gift shop at the zoo. It's this bracelet and has this little elephant on it that is made out of some kind of stone. And it's called Follow, Fahlo. And you download an app. And this is her name is Orchid, and she's an actual elephant. And you can follow how many miles she's traveled that day, how many offspring she's had, her whole entire life, where she's at right now. Like right now, she's in Meru.
Is it?
It is the coolest thing. There's like dolphins, and you can follow bears. You can follow any kind of animal, and they have that at the zoo.
Awesome.
I
That is
know.
awesome. And you know, we're a nonprofit. We're a conservation organization. So everything you buy in our gift shops on ShopZoo, everything goes right back into our mission, which is
great.
protecting wildlife and habitats.
And I'm loving the colors of these books. Like they're
very bright.
They're beautifully done.
Perfect for kids.
Gorgeous.
Perfect.
Thank
gorgeous
you so
books.
much.
Okay, we're going to give away. Okay, we're going to figure out how we're going to give away these books, and I think we should give them away as a set. Because that would be
okay.
incredible for somebody's child
Oh,
or
yeah.
grandchild, and then before we give them to the person, we will have them sign.
I will sign them all. Yes, I will.
And before we take off, we need to know a little bit more about you. This is the bowl of questions, okay? This is the
Okay.
ominous bowl of questions, and I didn't put any in here that are like scandalous or anything.
Thank you.
So you pick one out, and you have to answer it honestly. And
What
just,
if I don't like the question?
We'll throw it back in. You're the
Okay,
guest.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the guest. You can you can do
All
whatever
right,
you
let
want.
me pick a question. Oh, that's.
Do you not like it?
No, I like
Okay.
it. I like it. It's who is someone you really admire? There are many people I admire, but one person I admire who is a friend of mine is Jane Goodall.
Oh,
that
man.
woman is the most incredible person in the entire world. The work she has done, not only studying chimpanzees, but speaking around the world on behalf of wildlife.
She has worked hard.
She has made a huge difference in my life. And the fact that I know her and that we're friends because I've met her through my work means the world to me.
That is amazing. How many people have we ever met that is friends with Jane Goodall?
I mean, that is incredible.
That is incredible.
And I'm glad to know that she's obviously she's a good person. Look what she's doing. Look what she's done.
She's an amazing person. Yeah. And I love it. At the end of her talks, if you ever have a chance to go to one of her lectures, she's so good at hooting like a chimp. You know how they go, whoo, whoo, I can't do it. But she does that at the end of her lectures, and she's just got it down. I don't know what it is she's saying, but it's awesome.
Can you mimic an animal?
I can mimic a rooster.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, all right.
Here we go. Excellent. That was excellent.
That's about the best I can do. That's about it.
Okay, one question because I found it just popped up and I thought I want to know what your answer to that.
Oh, what's the last thing you completed on your bucket list?
You've done pretty much everything.
No, there are things I still want to do. Like, I have not seen a jaguar in the wild. So I want to go to the Pantanal in South America to see jaguars in the wild. Oh my gosh. Because I am the most fortunate person in the world because I've been able to do so many amazing things through my job. And one of the things, we talked about me traveling a lot. I'll never forget something that my mother said to me. And I was really young and I had spent my money on a big trip and I didn't have a condo yet. And I remember saying to my Mom, do you think it's really weird that I went on this trip and I don't even own a home yet? And, I eventually did. But she said, honey, you will always regret the trips that you never took. Right. You will never regret the trips that you took. And I like to tell young people, her motto was go, go, go while you can. So I decided that I would not wait until I retire to follow my dreams. Right. And when opportunities can't come up and people say, come with us on a trip, and I happen to organize a lot of trips for my friends as well, I go there. So I've got to think, because I've never really written a bucket list.
My last question for you was going to be, what message do you have for people about the world, about what you just said?
Is perfect.
Is beautiful.
Yeah.
If you want to say anything about like our earth, something important,
yes,
please do.
Our earth needs us. And we're at a critical point in time. I mean, there is such a thing as global warming, but Jane Goodall says, and this is another, when she talks, she says, if every single person could do a little something together, that makes a big something. And I think you have to have hope. That's what my book collection is about. Bad things happen, but you can't let it get you down. You have to have hope. You have to have hope for our planet. You have to have hope for wildlife species, even though some of them are diminishing in number. I'm never going to give up. I am never going to give up trying to inspire people to care and to do something on behalf of our planet. And it can be something simple. Here are a couple things locally that people can do. I love to tell kids to learn about the local wildlife in your own backyard. I mean, I love elephants. I love lions. I love tigers. We have got opossums. That's a marsupial. I mean, it's related to the
They're
koala.
pretty cool to see up close, too.
They are. We have coyotes. We have mountain lions in the backcountry. We have bobcats and rabbits. And we have awesome animals in San Diego County. And in other areas, people have awesome wildlife. So I think learning about what you have in your own backyard really helps you care about wildlife around the earth. And I will never forget, we have hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds. I have hummingbird feeders. A top scientist from Australia came to visit. This is back in the 1990s. And he and a friend stopped by my condo for dinner, and I had a hummingbird feeder. Okay, this is a man who works with koalas and platypus and, what you might think, kangaroos. He had never seen a hummingbird in his life. He was mesmerized. Like, this is the most magnificent thing I've ever seen. Our wildlife that live, a bird that lives in San Diego County. Yeah. And this man lives with kookaburras and koalas. Yeah. So it's really relative to where you live, but it's really important to care about your native wildlife. And if you can plant, native milkweed for the monarch butterflies, do that. And if you've got a cat, you want your cat to be safe. So if you don't want it to get hit by a car. You don't want it to get eaten by local wildlife. So keep your cat inside for its own safety. But what that also does is that saves local wildlife. It saves lizards. It saves squirrels because the cats aren't out there.
They bring the presents to the door sometimes. Yes.
Yeah. But it's it protects your beloved pet, but then it also protects native wildlife. Yeah. So I want to leave people with a message of hope, with a message of never giving up, with a message of believing in yourself and following your dreams and living your best life. Don't wait to do something that you want to do. Right. Do it now. You've got to just do it now.
Yeah.
Gosh, Georganne Irvine, author, philanthropist, publicist, San Diego Zoo spokesperson extraordinaire from so many years back, media maven, explorer, just intellect. We're so honored that you joined us here, and thank you for giving us a set of books.
I could talk to you for years and never get tired.
I could talk with you and tell you stories. You're going to go get her out of here. It's
no way.
It's 3 in the morning.
We so appreciate you being on the podcast. Thank you so very much. And all of her links, the link to the zoo shop and the link to the San Diego Zoo on our website, Laura Cain After Dark, along with her bio and her picture and everything. And we will let you know how we're giving away her set of books because those are fantastic.
They are adorable.
And she's going to sign them for you too. So we say something at the end of our podcast, and I'll say it, then you say it, and Erik says it, and then we end, okay? Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. This has been such an awesome show. I've loved it, and I love your podcast.
Love your podcast.
Love your podcast.
I love you, my sweet babies. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.